What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Game Changers. I'm your host and founder, Jalen Tart, and I got here with my guys, my partners in crime, Joe and Xavier.
What up, y'all?
Listen,
What's poppin'?
listen, man. Hey, Joe, I gotta give it to you, man. You off camera, we did talk about this. We've been calling the game for Florida and Georgia. Florida came out to win. I don't even want to talk to you, Xavier, because you got this Baltimore Scully cap on.
We told you.
We down my Colts, man. But hey, we're gonna get better, man. Man. Y'all good? Y'all ready?
All
right, so let's jump right into it. So we're gonna start off with HBCU versus PWI. So high school athletes across the country are committing in the month of November. So in the minds of an athlete, which is better? Committed to an HBCU or committed to a PWI? Anybody can start off.
Well, it kind of depends on the athlete. Whether that athlete is, like a 5-star caliber player. I mean, playing for a PWI will give you, great exposure or whatever. But I mean, if that athlete is black, I mean HBCU repping our culture, our race, or whatever, I just believe it can benefit that player because he'll have like people he can be comfortable with, people he can look up to, on the field, off the field, or whatever the sport may be. So I say it can go either way.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Joe. Like it can go either way for anybody, but regardless of the situation of whether you want to attend to further your athletic career to an HBCU or you want to do it to a PWI, talent is going to find you. The league is going to find you, regardless of what's going to happen. HBCUs do bring the culture, and among a black athletes' perspective, like if you're a black athlete going to an HBCU, you be looked at as more than an athlete. But you at a PWI, if you're playing at Williams-Brice Stadium or like any other PWI, you kind of just seem looked at as an athlete. But at the end of the day, it really does not matter if you go to an HBCU or a PWI because the league will find you regardless of what happens, man. That's my 2 cents.
I just want to say this. I'm not an athlete, but covering sports for as long as I have since middle school, going to an HBCU is different. It's a different atmosphere of going to a PWI. It doesn't really matter to me, but if I was an athlete, if I was a dominant contender to go to one of these schools, I would have to pick an HBCU because you're not going to get that experience anywhere else. But if you go to a PWI, you're going to where there are legends in the making. For example, Coach K at Duke, Coach Roy Williams at UNC, Dabo Swinney at Clemson, Nick Saban at Alabama for football. Most of these coaches in these pivotal schools play pivotal roles into these players' lives. Coaches go into their houses, talk to them. Some of them even do Zoom calls or FaceTime calls just to talk to you. Coach Calipari, for example. But it doesn't really matter. It's all about what talent is there and what can you produce for that team. And I'm just going to leave it at that for the most part because we got a lot of content to get into the show. So the college football rankings recently came out. Notre Dame, Clemson blew the roof off of the college football weekend with the 47-40 double overtime win off of Notre Dame, putting them into number 2. Clemson drops down to number 4. In the rankings, you have Alabama as the new number 1 in the college football poll, along with Texas A&M, who some people are shaking their heads on why they should be ranked in the top 5, with Florida knocked off number 5 Georgia last week. So off of these rankings, do you agree with them or do you disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, reason being is that, Notre Dame, they are a ranked team, but I don't think they should be top 5. But the only reason is because of that defense.
Right.
The defense is high talented, they're high caliber, everything. I mean, the list goes on with that defense. That's the only reason why they're staying up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go way left for a second with that Clemson and Notre Dame game. What really put me on a whole confused mode was the aftermath, like all the people in Notre Dame and Indiana storming the field, and like we're in the pandemic, and I'm just looking like, really?
Right.
But anyway, like Florida, I feel like they're gonna get knocked off the top five, and then Texas A&M is gonna come in because they have been an underdog team, and Kellen Mond is having that revenge tour his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And Spiller, he definitely produced on the rushing game, and I really do feel like A&M can be in the top five, and Florida can like. I mean, you really Florida just got Kyle Trask and high caliber Kyle Pitts, but I really think Texas A&M should be in the top five, and Florida should be right under at like number 6 maybe. But that's just league. So yeah.
For this list, for me, I like the list, but I will have to tweak it a little bit. I believe Clemson should stay in the top 4. Excuse me. You know, we saw the emergence of Cornell Powell, who is a nasty wideout for Clemson, and DJ Uiagalelei did his thing, threw for over 450 yards as in the second game of his freshman career. I mean, that's very good. That means Clemson's going to be in good hands with Trevor Lawrence. If he does declare for the draft, he leaves. Alabama rightfully deserves the number 1 spot. They have the all-around talented team with Mac Jones, and hopefully Jerry Jeudy he recovers well. You know, he's out for not Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, excuse me.
Like, what?
Get hurt. Yeah, I had to. Man, listen, it's been a long day. But but Jalen Waddle, hopefully he recovers well. More likely he will go for the draft. Ohio State. Me personally, they can stay at the number 3 spot, but it's gonna come down to when they play the ranked teams when it comes down to it. If they can win out in the Big Ten, it's gonna come down to the playoff to see what they're really made of.
Wait.
That's a hard one because Florida's defense and Florida's offense are very high-powered offense. I don't believe that A&M should have been in the top 5 from the beginning because they played South Carolina, and they beat South Carolina on the road by 45 points. And South Carolina is at the bottom of the SEC East. I don't think it should be worked like that. But I can take this list, but A&M should have went to number 4 and Clemson should have been number 5.
Hey, but let me ask something on that one. Like, okay, Ohio State would have been like, okay, wait, where is Ohio State ranked? Like
number 3.
Number 3. Oh, they're number 3. But okay, here's the only reason why I say Texas A&M because Ohio State started late and coming back to the Big Ten. And the SEC actually started way earlier than the Big Ten did. That's the only reason I say Texas A&M should be top 5. And I know I forgot about Ohio State. They should definitely be in the college football playoff because I have so much respect for Justin Fields. But if they haven't started late, then Texas A&M would have been like number 5, number 6-ish.
Now, I mean, Ohio State, they do have to play Indiana, which is they're going to be their only test. That'll be next week. That'll probably be their only test because Indiana, they emerged as a shocker team because they beat Penn State and they went into the rankings at number 13. Now they're a top 10 team at number 10 in the poll. It should be a good game, but we will see what Indiana is made of and what Ohio State is made of in the game next week. So we're going to move forward. So it's breaking news off of today, excuse me. Russel Westbrook says that he wants out of Houston. You know, he's been there for 1 year, played with James Harden, and Russell Westbrook said it, quote, that he has informed team officials that he has been uneasy about the team's accountability and culture and has a desire to return to his prior floor general role as he was in Oklahoma City. So, guys, what's your reaction to Russell Wilson saying that he wants out of not out of Oklahoma City, but out of the Houston Rockets?
I mean, you kind of would have seen that coming, with like with the rumors spreading that James Harden was going to leave or whatever. I think in my mind he just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to do it by himself like last year when Paul George left for Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to the Houston. So like if he wants to go, I believe. We talked about this earlier, Jalen, that New York could be a good fit for him. Mm-hmm. And, they'll have like a young culture team there. But if he don't, I mean, he probably still going to be unhappy with Houston either way.
Me, Not surprised that he won it out. But if I want one team that if he does go out of Houston, because he didn't really put up as much numbers as he did at his years at OKC. If I wanted to have one team that I can think about that he can fit with, it might y'all might give me the people out there might give me a reaction. Y'all might give me a crazy reaction when I say this, but I say Phoenix with him and Devin Booker.
So you're saying okay, wait. I gotta stop right there. So you're saying off of the trade talks with CP3 wanting to go with Phoenix and Oklahoma City trying to get CP3, you think Devin Booker and Russell Westbrook first of all, you got one of the most underrated shooting guards in the game of Devin Booker that can flat out ball. Phenomenal player. Then you got this aggressive dog in Russell Westbrook. That's not bad. Now that I think about it, it's not bad because off of what they showed in the bubble, when you got a center that's coming into his own, he's been struggling in the early years of him being the draft, DeAndre Ayton. He's coming into his own, being a role player of a center that he is. Then you got Cameron Johnson, who's a sharpshooter, coming from North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Playing his team. Then you got this aggressive dog of Russell Westbrook. That's not bad. But me personally, I would see him in Milwaukee.
Why you say that?
Because they need another scorer. And
okay, now I think about it.
If you can trade your players or trade picks and get Bledsoe to come off the bench, like how what's the man name? I've got the name on top of my head. I forgot on top of my head. I don't know.
Chris Middleton?
Yeah, no. It's the light skinned I forgot.
George Hill?
Yes, George Hill. There you go. If you can trade George Hill and trade draft picks and get Russell Westbrook to be that aggressive scorer with Giannis, because Russell Westbrook can pass the ball. He can allow people to get going. That might be their third scorer for the team. But honestly, he might lean more towards the Knicks. The Knicks doesn't have anybody. They have RJ Barrett. They have Kevin Knox, who I think is going to come into his own once he gets into his prime. And then you got Julius Randle. And on top of that, you got a experienced coach of Tom Thibodeau. That's not bad. Because now you have a box mark, an attraction there for the Knicks. You know, Spike Lee's going to be happy again. He's going to want to come to the games to see Russell Westbrook play. We'll see what happens.
But like with Milwaukee, I just don't. I can see Russell in the East, but I just don't think the question is how is his game going to be in the Eastern Conference though?
Right.
And with him, if he goes to Milwaukee, if that, I can see it more than what I said with Phoenix now. Now that I think about it, is because like him and Giannis have like the same game. They both explosive. Yeah. They both can score inside. They just have the same game. I mean, like you can't really miss that.
And he can be the floor general. That gives Giannis not to worry about, I have so much of a load to get my team to the finals and win the finals. Now you have an experienced player that has been to the finals that can get you there. That's your piece. All you got to do now, hopefully I don't know if they have a good cap space or not. Hopefully they can work into the deal where they can get him and sign him. But either or, the Knicks or the Bucks is a good team in my honest opinion. People might agree or disagree. I don't care. I'm gonna say how I want to say how I feel and express my point. But we're gonna move on to the quiz pick segment. So, will the Seahawks win the NFC?
Yes.
I
don't know. I don't know about that.
Who y'all think?
No. Okay.
You still got Seattle. You still got Green Bay. Because listen, Green Bay.
You still got New Orleans, and you still got Tampa Bay.
Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers have been going off still. Russell Wilson cooled off for me. And Tampa Bay is getting hot, even though got blown out by New Orleans Sunday night. But I mean, I don't know, man, because Russell Wilson is actually cooling off, and he was my front runner for MVP this year.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with the offense. It's the defense that's playing pathetic football. They're not Jalen. Is it Jalen? What is it? Is it Jalen? It's. I don't know if it's Adams or Ramsey. He needs to improve and he needs to step up.
Oh, Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. Not Jalen Adams. Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams needs to step up. I mean, I feel like he needs to improve. He's going to improve and come into his own later in the season. But you can't have Russell Wilson doing shootouts every week and win the Super Bowl. You can't have that.
Hey, but here's the thing though. Jamal Adams hasn't been on a good team in like how many years he been in the NFL? Like this is the first good team he actually been on. This man been on the Jets for how long? And Jets didn't make the playoffs.
That pathetic organization. No one wants to go there.
But nobody. But the Jets is just a broken down organization.
They need to fire Adam Gase. They need to fire Adam Gase and they need to fire the general manager because that is toxic. It's so toxic. I don't understand how you come so close to beating the New England Patriots where Joe Flacco had a breakout game off of this season and still lose. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Cam Newton just took that team apart in the final drive. Took him apart. When we thought he was gonna mess up, the man showed everybody that he can complete passes and he's improving with Bill Belichick doing what he needed to do. They ran the clock. They did time management with the clock very well and did what they had to do. But honestly, the Patriots are not going to win the division. It's going to come down to the Dolphins and it's going to come down to the Bills. The Dolphins are playing really good football right now. Very good football. It's that game to me showed the future of football is in good hands. We can finally see a Tua versus Kyler Murray, like how we've been seeing with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's in good hands. Is Derrick Henry an MVP caliber player?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Yes. Look, yes. Listen, the thing about Derrick Henry, he's not even that fast, but he has a lot of power. You can't, like, nobody can really tackle him like that. He's like a Marshawn Lynch, but slower and kind of bigger. That man is a freight train, and yes, he should be like an MVP, at least top 5 caliber, right. A top 5 MVP caliber player.
Okay.
I say yes, but not this year.
Okay.
Yeah, who's MVP this year?
Rodgers or Wilson. I mean, I still got Wilson. I still got Russell Wilson.
I got Aaron Rodgers.
After the last couple of weeks, Russell Wilson cooled down. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is still on the grind. And let me tell you something: Devontae Adams is a top 5 wide receiver in this league.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf. They're having breakout. They having breakout seasons.
Yes. Because you have Julio, you have DeAndre, you have DK, you have Devontae,
and then you got Tyreek. That could be a debate for next week. What is your top 5 wide receiver core for that? We can say that for next week because we can go on and on about that.
We really can.
Derrick Henry, he's a phenomenal back, and it depends upon how the offensive line is creating holes for him. If they're not going to create the holes for him, he's not going to have the breakout games like how we want him to be. You know, fantasy players want him to do what he got to do, but it all depends upon how the offensive line the Tennessee Titans are going to do.
Yeah, but with that,
my post tomorrow. So,
with that left tackle, Taylor Lewan, the veteran Taylor Lewan, it's like if that Tennessee Titans offensive line do not have him, then they're like completely powerless without him.
Mm-hmm.
But like even if that, then Derrick Henry can still use that 6'3" frame, 230 pounds, 240 pound body, and just power through everybody.
Right. So the next question is, what should the Patriots do with Cam Newton after this season?
That's tough.
That is.
But you have to get Cam more weapons.
Right. I agree.
Because I mean, with Carolina, throughout his career with Carolina, he had people like Steve Smith. He had people like Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funches, Greg Olson. I mean, but you can't expect him to be successful at New England with only Julian Edelman.
Right.
I mean, you have to give him more pieces. Like I said, like for right now in the draft, New England should focus on getting, another wide receiver.
I got one. Odell Beckham.
Oh yeah, I can see.
Or you can get. But the thing about Odell is Odell is still injured.
But when he comes back though.
Well, we have to see because sometimes.
I mean,
because sometimes players like wide receivers can like have like a slow in their step when they get injured like that.
Right.
I think yeah, I can see Odell in New England with Cam. If Cam
that would be
goes another year.
That'll be interesting.
Because like I feel like that chemistry between Odell and Baker is not there as it is as with Cam and Odell.
And they have a winning record. That's the biggest thing that I see from this. They have a win. They're above 500, and they're still complaining about the team. You got your coach. You got the defense. Myles Garrett is playing football. He's not hitting people in the head with the helmet. He's playing football. I mean, Baker Mayfield. It's like a roller coaster. It's like he's going up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what I see from Baker Mayfield. But I think the Patriots should keep Cam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they need to give up on Cam. They're overlooking his success. They're 3-5, but it's like he's a rookie all over again with a veteran coach. You just got to give him time. I will give him about 2 years. Give him 2 years. Give him some weapons. Improve the defense, and then on top of that, half of the defense is not back. So when they come back and he has an offense, they're going to be straight. And this is the last question. So South Carolina women's team is number 1 in the preseason poll. Will they go undefeated this year?
I wouldn't say undefeated, but I will say it might be too early to speak on this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna stand on what I stand on. They are going to the championship.
Okay.
Only reason, because like South Carolina women's basketball team has so many weapons. I mean, you got Bria Bill, who's an underdog. You got Zaya Cook, who's been cooking anybody. You got Destiny Henderson, who's going to be in the starting lineup for the veteran Tyasha Harris, man. You got Letitia O'Neal. You got Aaliyah Boston. You don't want to, no other woman don't want to go into the paint with her.
Right.
Like, then you got everybody else on the bench. You got you activated Destiny Littleton, Olivia Thompson, Worstley, et cetera. Like, South Carolina has so many weapons on that team. It's insane.
Right.
And, like, so I really think, I wouldn't say they're going to go undefeated, but they're going to lose about one game again. I don't know which game they're going to lose to.
I believe, me personally, from looking off the top of my head from rosters, I think it might be a close one in UConn. Because they do have number one. They do have the number 1 overall player with Paige Buckers. They just committed Ozzie Fudd, who is the number 1 player in the class of 21 for this year. But at the same time, though, that's only 2 players. You have 3 players that average 17 or more points from Beal, Cook, and Boston. And then on top of that, you have Lily Grisey, who can run the floor and get and Victoria Saxon. If you could switch those 2 and get them, because Victoria Saxon is going to play the role that Destiny Henderson played the role last year. Destiny Henderson is going to start. We know that. Then you have Anaya Russell, who is a dominant freshman coming in from Baltimore, Maryland. And we're going to see Olivia Thompson come into her own this year. I can see it happening.
I agree.
Because, when you come in as a freshman and then you come in as a sophomore, you're learning the roles of the team. And once you get into your junior, senior year, you're just going to start going off. I can see that potential with Olivia Thompson coming in because she is a sharpshooter.
She prefer to walk on too.
Yes, and she's on scholarship now. So it's going to be a fun season to watch. But in all honesty, you will have to watch out for Kentucky with Ryan Howard. The way that she can score the ball. Texas, Stanford,
Mississippi State,
and Mississippi State is gonna fall off.
Oh yeah, never mind. Because Kennedy Carter.
Yeah, Kennedy Carter. She's gone.
She declared early for the draft.
Yep, she declared early for the draft, and then I think one of the coach for Mississippi State, he went back to his alma mater. He's coaching at Texas now. Stanford and UConn. If we go to the tournament, we have to watch out for Stanford and UConn because they're going to be the top teams coming in. But anybody can be beat. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, we can go watch the game. You know, they're only allowing 3,000 people in CLA, Colonial Life Arena. But it is what it is. So we already know next week we're going to talk about the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL next week. So hopefully everybody stays tuned to that. And that'll do it. And we'll catch everybody on the next episode.
See y'all.
Peace, y'all.